Welcome back to another food review video. In this video, I'll be reviewing Waffle House. So I've been wanting to review Waffle House for a good minute now. And I'm not saying this is the first time that I've ever tried Waffle House, but this is the first time that I've ever tried it and will be reviewing it on my channel. And probably the last, well maybe the last. Who knows? But yeah, this is the first time that I'll be trying it on my channel. And this also was the first time that I tried Waffle House in what, 2-3 years. I think I tried it about 2 to 3 times in the past. But this is the first time in a minute. It's not like I tried it so much. So it's only tried it a few times before. And then having a good couple years gap between this time, this time and the last time. It's a pretty fresh review. So it's fresh for the channel. And it's relatively fresh for me. So I've been wanting to review it. And the main reason I really wanted to be reviewing it is because, pretty much people have been talking. They've been saying like Waffle House is so amazing. And IHOP is so trash. So I wanted to try it again for myself to maybe see what other people saw in it or other people tasted in it that was so amazing. Because the last time I tried it, or the last couple times I tried it, it was nothing amazing. It was nothing to write home about. And I actually said the taste between the two really ain't that different. So IHOP is better because of convenience and maybe menu size and option size. So I was like, IHOP is better. But yeah, so at the time, I had to try it again. I was like, maybe a different area gonna give me a different taste. And this is what this review is. So a couple years off from trying it in the past in different locations. Let's see if I taste what other people been tasting and give a new review. So in this video, I'm going to give that review. So backstory aside, on to the review. So now starting with the review, let's look at this menu first. So this menu, it's clear and concise. It's only a front and a back, not 100 pages. So that was nice. The prices on there and the value menu is solid. Like the prices for the restaurant are solid. Like I said, the value menu is nice. I didn't really take part of the value menu. I didn't try that out. But as far as just having that option, like I said, that's nice. But yeah, it's dope. But yeah. But as far as the food on the menu, the food on the menu looks garbage. I'm gonna say that straight up. The food on the menu look garbage. It look like prop food, look like plate. It look like plastic, look like trash. Like food on the menu look garbage. It don't make me hungry at all. It's like it's there, but it don't make me hungry. The smell of the restaurant, all that cooking, because it's fresh in front of you. It's not like it's in the back nowhere. It's right in front of you. It smells good. It make you forget about how trash the menu look as far as food wise. Like the actual pictures of the food look garbage, but the smell of the restaurant kind of makes you forget about I'm hungry. The food smells good. Hopefully it looks better than it. Hopefully it looks better in person than it looks on his pictures. But yeah, first thing aside, the menu food look garbage. But yeah, now on to the actual review. Like menu aside, backstory aside, on to the actual food review. So as far as the food, what I got while I was there, I got eggs, I got bacon, I got sausage, I got hash brown, and I got the limited time holiday season blueberry waffles. So I'm gonna go one by one and give my review for each one. So I'm gonna start off with the bacon. The bacon, I was thoroughly impressed and surprised by the bacon, because most time we go to these what's called breakfast restaurants or these restaurants in general, they'll give you that kind of Caucasian bacon, like that long, flimsy bacon, and I have no type of sturdiness to it at all. It's kind of just flap in the wind and blow in the wind type bacon. But they actually had some bacon with some lymph on it, and it had kind of that at-home texture. It wasn't quite as good as at home, but to have that lymph and have that similar texture and that similar look and taste to at-home bacon, I was impressed by it. It had actually some black people bacon, and it was actually a black waffle. I think the other times I tried Waffle House, it was like whiter, kind of ran and cooked by white people. So they kind of gave you that white people bacon. But this Waffle House was had all black, pretty much people working. So the food came out tasting like, kind of close to at-home food. So the bacon was solid, had a good texture. Like I said, it wasn't quite as good as at home, but to have that lymph in that texture. And then they gave you about 3 pieces of bacon. So with the lymph in the texture, it was pretty filling. Like even though it was only 3 pieces of bacon, with that lymph in that texture, it was pretty filling and it was good. So I would give that bacon about an 8. So it's like a B minus, still a solid score. Could have been better, but a B minus is pretty solid. So it was some good bacon. Now on to the next thing, the sausage. The sausage wasn't quite nearly as good as bacon. It was kind of like around a standard type of, restaurant sausage. It wasn't, it probably wouldn't even rank top five or nothing. But it was solid enough. It was a good, like, complimentary type of, snack on the side of the whole meal. But as far as itself, it wasn't nothing spectacular. But to be on the side, it, kind of enhanced. Like, you're already eating all this other good food, and just to have that on the side to snack on, and, just mix in, and when you're eating your eggs and this and that, and then once you kind of, just like, bouncing back and forth between the foods and you just trying everything. It was solid in that extent. So being around the other food, it didn't hurt it. It boosted the sausage because with everything else, so it's just like another complimentary to everything else. But like I said, nothing spectacular. It was probably nothing really to write home about. But yeah, and like as far as other sausages, I say probably even some microwavable stuff type sausages and like all our pre-prepared sausages are rate better than that sausage. But like I said, been around other stuff, it complemented it in a way. It didn't hurt it. It helped boosted it in a way. So I would say the sausage is about a 7.5. So a little bit above mid. And maybe the only reason it's above mid is because it was around everything else. But a 7.5, I would say. So a little bit above mid, maybe boosted because it was around other things and it's a complementary thing instead of it's like maybe a main focus per se. It was like this. Never mind, I'm not going to get into that. But the complementary side boosted it to 7.5. So that's the sausage rating. Now to the eggs. The eggs were good. I would say they about average, so you kind of say mid, but I was saying like they were mid, they didn't taste good. The eggs tasted good, but I would say the score, like I said, they're roughly average as far as the eggs. They were good eggs, but they were roughly average. I got the scrambled eggs, but roughly average. It was kind of more of another complimentary thing, something to help fill you up while you're eating other stuff. So the eggs were good, but nothing like you haven't tasted before. At least they weren't like bad. Like they were mid, but they weren't bad. Like they were good. Like they were mid, but mid good, not mid bad. I would say they were probably around like the same thing as the sausage, probably about on 7.5. But yeah, it was a good amount of eggs. Definitely enough to fill you up. Not like some little small portions. It was a pretty solid, respectable portion of eggs. It wasn't like no runny eggs. It had good texture, good consistency. It wasn't like no runny, drippy, wet eggs. It was nice, warm, fresh. Everything was put together well, salted and peppered, and it was a solid eggs. But was it spectacular? No. It wasn't nothing to write home about? No. But for that price and stuff, I would say, no, I'm going to give it a little bit of, I'm going to say it's about a 7.8. Not a little bit of, even closer above mid, but still not really B tier or A plus. It was like high C tier, so like C plus. So the eggs were good, but nothing to write home about. Good portions, good consistency, but not all that really to write home about. Just good feeling and good convenience and stuff. But now on to the next thing. So bacon, sausage, egg aside. Now we go to hash browns. Hash brown, I'm gonna give like a really short review on it. The hash browns, like I said, this is another uniform thing for the hash browns. They were around pretty much another average score. Like I said, it's more so the pricing and convenience of the type of restaurant, or for the time with these restaurants. It's not like they're gonna be serving you something so amazing because it is kind of a cheaper food. And I'm kind of getting into like reviewing it maybe a little bit too harshly because it is just that type of food. But yeah, it was like nothing really spectacular about the hash browns. I probably say the hash browns were probably closer to, I'm saying the hash brown was a 7. It's like about, I think most places really make hash browns around the same. Well, maybe you say McDonald's and this stuff. As far as like restaurants, they all kind of make the hash browns the same way. They all kind of taste the same way. So the hash browns weren't really nothing spectacular or different from any other breakfast restaurants. It was just like another, like I say, complimentary type thing. If you put the main focus on it, it's going to fall real low in score. But by being around everything else to kind of help. But I'm not even going to give around everything else because it was so basic that it was really, it's not even going to get enhanced by being around everything. But you kind of forget about it, don't really care too much because it is around everything. So I say the hash brown is about a 7. So solid, filling, tasted good. I was certainly killing it, but it wasn't definitely nothing different from any other place. So you can say IHOP versus any other place, they're all like really the same. So hash browns aside. Now I did the bacon, the eggs, the sausages, the hash browns, and now the toast. The toast was terrible. I mean, not terrible, but I said the toast is it is terrible, about 6. It's definitely like they just throw it on there. Just you ain't full yet. There's some more stuff right here. Some little square, weak white bread, not even fully toasted toast on the side, like mini toast, really. Like that little toast, all small, not even toasted, and it still shrunk. Like that thing had that shrink wrap. It's like there's another thing they had on the side if you I guess not full, and they slightly buttered it. They didn't really butter it too well. Like it was like the butter. You know when you really toast something real, like toast real good and start getting that golden type of like what's it called golden taste. I mean color to the butter. That's what I'm saying. Like when you really get it toasted and you rub it on there and it gets that golden flake, like golden, like starts to seep into the toast and it's real golden. Nah, I wasn't even there. It was like toast was barely toasted, maybe in the center a little bit. And then the rest of the toast, like the back and the front was kind of white and yeah, it was just terrible. I mean, yeah, it was terrible. And then it was just like some like it just like just slapped the butter on it. So that was real weak. So I would say that's about a 6. Like I'm not saying the whole experience was bad, but I'm saying that toast right there was particularly weak for the everything. So that was like about a 6. Matter of fact, I'm gonna say 5. Yeah, that was 5. But by it being such a small portion of the meal, it's not like it did too much for me. It was just there. I didn't even eat. I ate like one bite, like it's garbage. And I didn't even eat the rest. And then yeah, so toast trash. And then the last thing, the blueberry waffles, the limited time blueberry waffles. So they came out here with one blueberry waffle, but it pretty much took up the whole plate. It was a nice size. It tasted real well. The blueberries were nicely what's called in the waffles and stuff, like nicely placed in the waffles or cooked in the waffles. It was like some weak waffles where like something like those Eggo waffles and stuff that be you get those microwavable ones that kind of like they're in there but they're not in there. You like you kind of taste the blueberries but you don't really taste them. It's like you could really taste the blueberries and like they were like real deal non-artificial blueberries in those baked into those waffles. Like you could taste it, you could see it, and it was like I said, I didn't even say that, but the blueberry waffles were solid. They were probably one of the better things there. I would rank them up there with the bacon. I would give them an 8. So really nothing is at Waffle House blew me away necessarily. More so was compared to the last time it was amazing. Much really blew me away because last time I probably gave the whole everything like a 7 or below. But this time it kind of did a whole rank up. It went from a C, like a low C to a low B. So that's an impressive jump from the last time. But yeah, so the waffle was pretty impressive. But like I said, I'll give it 8. It was solid, but only reason it's not a higher rating because it's not like it's something I would go back there and get again. Because I'm not really a waffles or pancake guy. Like I don't eat those every single day. I eat them every blue moon. And so it's not something I'll come back there again and get. It was not like the portion size was so perfectly fit for me that I was like, oh, this fits so perfect. It kind of like felt like a little bit of an overkill in a way. Like it was good, but it don't feel like something that I would be able to eat every day and still be kind of healthy. Like, or eat every, like occasionally something like I'll probably eat just on the holiday season. So that's kind of why the rating drops. But it's like, it doesn't have that, that kind of replay or eat value. Like, with video games, you get that replay value and have that re-eat value. Like, I don't want to eat again. Like, it was good to try. Like, it's a seasonal thing. Like, you eat it, but it's not something you will come back consistently to get. You probably come back and get it every blue moon. That's why. So the waffles were solid. The only reason the rating isn't higher is because just like what it is, it's seasonal. It's good, but it's not something you would necessarily come back or be quick to come back and get again. Like, it's good feeling, but a little bit too sweet, a little bit too sugary, and not something you should be eating all the time. Something you eat maybe once or twice throughout the year, and that's why it's a seasonal thing. It's solid, but not something you will be necessarily in a rush to come back again, unless you really just don't care about your health at all. But it was solid. And the only reason the rating is dropped is because, like I said, it's a little bit too sugary, a little bit too sweet, but something definitely it did smack for what it was, and when I was eating it, it certainly did smack. But now, comparing Waffle House's waffle to IHOP's waffle or waffles in pancakes, I would say what I tried there or what I tried here at Waffle House was better than what I've tried in the past at IHOP. So I would give Waffle House the nod, like the nudge or the nod in this aspect with their waffles compared to IHOP's pancakes and waffles. So I would say Waffle House got the edge. I'd probably say, so like I said, it was an 8. I'd probably give IHOP's on average pancakes about a 7. But IHOP does have those with like all you can eat pancakes sometimes, so that can edge the gap a little bit. But what I got there was certainly more solid at Waffle House. But now to like kind of my, kind of this review, all my reviews for this, what I tried at Waffle House this time around was, let's get to that. So the bacon, like I said, was 8, solid. The sausage was about a 7.5, kind of mid in a way, but enhanced by being with everything else, so it kind of got boosted to a 7.5. So the sausage is pretty solid. Not nothing really bad to say, but not really nothing spectacular to say about a sausage. The eggs were about 7.8. Like I said, they're kind of a little bit average in a way, but certainly not bad and good. And also boosted by being with the rest of the meal, and then a good portion, good price. So the eggs were pretty solid. Not quite solid, but close to it. The hash browns were about 7, really average, but good. Like they were good. Like certainly not bad, but like they were just too average to really say, oh, it was so much better than this or that. So it was kind of like, consistent across every other single restaurant type place. So a 7. The what's called it? The toast was straight trash. Like they didn't really try with that. They didn't even have that golden texture. Didn't have that good, like, really, consistently toasted. It was just like kind of just slightly toasted, like in the center, and this slap some butter right on top of it. So that was trash. The butter didn't even get to turn golden. Like that butter was trash. I mean, the whole toast, that toast was trash, like a 5. And then last but certainly not least, with the pancakes, the other solid thing from my meal at Waffle House, the pancakes were 8. A little bit too sugary, too sweet. Could have had a higher review. Maybe I just tried the regular pancakes, but it's definitely something to season. But other than that, that's the only thing really holding back. Maybe a little bit too sweet, and that's why it was seasonal. But an 8 is a pretty solid score. So the waffles were solid. And as far as the final thing I'm coming to, IHOP or Waffle House versus IHOP. And people have said that IHOP is so trash and Waffle House is so amazing. So how would I compare these two after trying Waffle House again at a different location and having a much better reception or review of this restaurant this time around? And like I said, say Waffle House is this and IHOP is that. And I would still say that it's really no big difference between the two, or necessarily as far as food quality. Like it's such a big gap. They're still in the same league, really. But I would say Waffle House is better. I say food for food, Waffle House is better, at least for what they serve versus like what Waffle House serves versus what the same stuff that IHOP serves. Like Waffle House is better in that stint by a slim margin. It's like 7.5 versus 8. So not that big of a gap, but Waffle House is better. The bacon's that way better than IHOP's bacon. The waffles versus the IHOP's pancakes, waffles, a slight advantage. The eggs roughly around the same, a real slim edge. Hash browns, no edge at all. Toast probably, I think anybody can serve better toast than what Waffle House gave me. That toast was garbage. And yeah, they had some orange juice, but orange juice is orange juice and stuff. So what's that gonna review right there? But I say where Waffle House kind of thrives is that it's convenient, it's quick. I don't know if you can go to a Waffle House where it's gonna be overpopulated, but I at least had the chance to go to a Waffle House. It really wasn't too many people in there. It was people in there, but it was like crowded. So we was able to sit down, get served real quick. Food was real good, real hot, tasted good. And overall, the individual parts weren't really the dang other. I thought it was like the whole of what I got. Like the individual food items weren't necessarily what the whole thing was. Like all of it combined was a good serving, good pricing, filled me up and did the job. So Waffle House was solid. It was convenient. You probably can say that IHOP overall is better because it served more stuff, more locations, and more availability. Whereas Waffle House, you kind of only come around them so often. So in that sense, IHOP is better. That's why it's bigger. But and like I said, more different stuff. But as far as just when you're actually in these locations, not like, it's only, why is that always cross the map? But like I said, if I was at between these two locations, I would probably choose Waffle House because if they were both in the same location within like a mile apart, or maybe in fact a couple feet apart, or whatever I'm going with this, but they were in the same area and I had to choose between two, I would choose Waffle House. And I feel like it is quicker and more to the point, less options, but that makes it easier to pick what you want. I think price probably a little bit better for a full meal. And yeah, so I would say Waffle House is better, but only by a slight margin. People could say all is this and all that amazing stuff, but it's really not that different. Like, I'm not going to be so much more satisfied by going to Waffle House than I would then going to IHOP. But if I had to choose between the two and they were in the same distance, I would choose Waffle House. That's kind of the thing. It's not that much better. Like, I definitely wouldn't go out of my way to go to Waffle House if IHOP was right next to me. That's what I would say. If they were right close to each other, I would choose Waffle House. That's really where the real deal rating comes down to. Like, if they were in the same location, I would choose Waffle House. But if Waffle House was any bit out of the way and IHOP was right there convenient for me, I would choose IHOP every time. But if they're close to each other, I choose Waffle House probably 9 out of 10 times. But if Waffle House is way out of my way, or at least even a little bit out of my way, I would choose IHOP every single time. But Waffle House gets a slight nod, and I say Waffle House is the better of the two. Nothing super spectacular. It's definitely not running laps around IHOP, but it is slightly better. It does win this debate. And that concludes my food review for Waffle House. And as always, thanks for watching.